Yes, as the video title states, this is my most embarrassing experience on stage ever. One of the things I get asked most when people learn that I went to Berklee, or just music school in general, is they say, was it like Whiplash? Was it teachers throwing chairs? Abuse? In short, no. It was fantastic. I enjoyed the majority. It was hard, it was difficult, but I enjoyed the majority of every day's experience. It tested me in ways that I needed to, and ultimately the teachers were really nice. The long story is, it's complicated. So this is my story of my absolute worst moment on stage at Berklee for the rest of my life. At Berklee and in most music schools, they have something called an ensemble, which is a group of players that come together as a class and play. So it could be anything from jazz to funk, rock, fusion, whatever. The most coveted ensembles are the audition-only ensembles, the ones that you have to prove that your playing ability is up to their standard to get into. The reason that they're the most coveted is because they get the most shows. They get the best shows. They'll get CAF shows. Occasionally they'll get BPC shows, which is the big theater at Berklee. When I got to Berklee, I really wanted to be part of an audition-only ensemble. And by my fourth semester, I'd actually gotten into one. I'd auditioned for a couple, and one I got into. Not only was the teacher amazing, but the other members of the class, the ensemble, were also fantastic players that I was really excited to be able to kind of rub elbows with. All right, so hold on. This next part of the story, it's a little bit out of left field, but stick with me. This story takes place during the winter of my fourth semester. Very cold, if you know Boston. During that time, I was trying to date people. Really, throughout my whole college experience, I was trying to date people. And there was this girl that I was really into that I'd gotten a date with. And we went out, and look, I thought we had a good time. I took her out to a restaurant. I'll show you the restaurant. This restaurant right here on Newberry. And then I walked her back to her dorm, and we kissed. I thought it went really well. Clearly, she didn't, which is fine. I didn't hear from her, and she said, hey, I'm not looking for a relationship. Cool, I was disappointed, but it's fine. 2 weeks after that, she gets into a relationship with some other guy. It was not great, but it was okay. Yeah, it was fine. Whatever, that stuff, it happens. You'll find out why this matters later. So back to the main part of the story. The ensemble itself was really big. It was 12 to 13 people, had a horn section, 2 keyboardists. Now, as I mentioned, this ensemble was an audition-only ensemble, and one of the reasons why people covet those ensembles is because they get the best shows, and this ensemble was not an exception. We got a really good opportunity to play a out-of-school venue and get paid for it. And we also got an opportunity to do an in-school. Now, the way that our first on-campus show was articulated to us by our professor was as an open rehearsal. What do you think when you think open rehearsal? Perhaps an open door? An invite-only open door in one of the bigger ensemble rooms on campus? That's sort of what I think, but that's not what it was. It was a proper advertised show. He had us put posters all over the clipboards all over campus, and it was held in one of Berklee's premier venues. Even more so, the slot was given to us on a Friday night, and we were going to be playing a slot that any other group, if they got that slot, would be a proper show. For all intents and purposes, it was a performance, not an open rehearsal. So on the day of the show, everyone is buzzing. We're all super, super excited. We'd been preparing for this for a month and a half, 2 months, and we all felt really prepared. We get there for sound check, we sound great, we're super excited, we leave the venue, go grab some food, and by the time we got back, the venue was packed. We were probably 20 minutes from showtime, and the venue was, there weren't places people could sit, and I'll show you the venue. Here's the venue. This venue is placed at the basin of one of the academic buildings, meaning that if you want to get to a classroom or exit the building from a classroom, you have to walk past this venue. So everyone's seeing it. So there's people, building up in the hallway outside of the venue looking into the venue. Needless to say, there's a lot of people, right? Which is a good thing. We were excited. We were excited to play for a lot of people, right? We knew it was going to be a show. Anyways, so we get on stage, we start playing, and we sounded great. I think everyone did. There were people dancing in the hallways, we were dancing, we were having a great time. We were really excited and prepared to play this show. And so occasionally the teacher would, after one of the songs, get on stage. He'd talk about the song, he'd talk about the history of the song, which was great. It added to the performance experience, you know? It was cool, it was academic. We thought that was fine. Anyway, so we're in the middle of the song, probably in the middle of the set, like halfway through, and I'm closing my eyes, I'm leaning back, I'm enjoying, and I hear, stop, 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 stop. And the room goes quiet, and I see the teacher. I open my eyes, and I see the teacher walking side stage, and he walks onto the stage, walks right up to me, and he goes, I can't believe you're playing this poorly. I would never hire you in a professional setting. Everyone has gone completely quiet, and my heart is in my throat. I've just gone from this amazing, blissful moment of playing my favorite thing in the world to now a living nightmare. Terrible. And he goes on for 2 to 3 minutes. And can I just say, 2 to 3 minutes on stage experiencing this, it felt like an hour. It was just molasses time, you know? It was so slow. Just for context, I'm gonna show you exactly what I was doing. I'm gonna show you what I was doing, and you can be the judge on whether his response was reasonable or not. This is what I was playing. And this is what he wanted. I just want to point out that technically I am in the wrong. The question is, was his reaction proportionate? I just wanted to throw that in there. As this is all happening, I am disassociating, and I'm looking out across the audience, trying to just be somewhere else in this moment. And who do I spot? None other than the girl I went on a date with and her boyfriend sitting right next to her, both of them looking shocked and horrified. It was really bad. It was terrible. And after he was done, he stepped off stage and goes, continue. And I mean, yeah, we finished, and I got through it. It was hard, you know. Obviously, that was the only thing that I was thinking of. Any enjoyability of that performance was gone, and now it was just about survival. Now, look, I just want to stop for a second and say, I was invested in this class. I really cared about it. I was a young musician. I was at Berklee. I cared what this professor thought about me. It meant a lot, you know, and it was just heartbreak. I was terrible. It was so bad. It was so bad. And as soon as the show ended, I quickly gathered my stuff. He tried to talk. I didn't say anything. I just walked right past. I knew I was gonna be mad, and I didn't want to say anything, so I just walked out the door. And I was kind of in a daze, and so I was walking around. If you know Boston, I was walking around the Commonwealth, the little miniature park on Commonwealth Street, and there's snow, and I was despondent. I didn't know how to respond to this. You know, I'd never been through something like this before. And so I called one of my buddies who was a bebop, really high-level musician, also at Berklee at the time, you know, and I told him what happened, and I expected him to be like, you know, F that guy, that sucks, like, I can't believe that would happen to you. And that's not what he said. He said something that was really surprising. He said, good. It's a good thing that happened. And I was, you know, what are you talking about? I was so mad. And he goes, you'll never have a worse moment on stage. For the rest of your life, it'll never be worse than that. And just like that, he hung up. And I was, again, alone in Boston in the cold. And I had changed. I wasn't angry anymore. I was sad, you know, that I wasn't gonna have that relationship with that teacher anymore, or at least the one that I thought that I wanted. But I remember that my buddy was right, and that was sort of what I took away from it. You know, that there's never gonna be a worse moment. I'm not telling you, by the way, to have these experiences. Just if you do, they will shape you into being a better person, not just musician, a better person for sure. Anyway, so that's the story. The way it concludes is a few days later he reached out and said, I'm super sorry, I was super out of line for doing that. He made a public apology in the ensemble because it wasn't done. We still had another performance to do. Anyways, that's my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Not too much, but I hope you enjoyed it and maybe took something away from it. If not, it is funny. Like, not really. It's sort of funny. Whatever. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Cheers.